U.S. House panel approves bill giving Biden power to ban TikTok. U.S. House Foreign Affairs Committee voted on Wednesday along party lines to give President Joe Biden the power to ban Chinese-owned TikTok and what would be the most far-reaching U.S. restriction on any social media app ever. Lawmakers voted 24-16 to approve the measure. Damn, if Biden banned TikTok, that would turn a lot of Zoomers anti-Democrat, huh? Democrats opposed the bill, saying it was rushed and required due diligence through debate and consultation with experts. The bill does not precisely specify how the ban would work. It gives Biden power to ban any transactions with TikTok, which in turn could prevent anyone in the U.S. from accessing or downloading the app on their phones. The bill would also require Biden to impose a ban on any entity that may transfer sensitive personal data to an entity subject to the influence of China. Wait, but America is subject to the influence of China. That would ban anything that may transfer sensitive personal data. Look, I am okay with a broad suite of laws that ban data harvesting. I think that would be awesome. But to pretend that only TikTok is doing this is delusional. It's not. It's not just TikTok. Every social media app harvests data and sells huge chunks of it to businesses so they can use it for ad targeting and a bunch of other crap all the time. The White House this week gave government agencies 30 days to ensure TikTok is not on any federal devices or systems. More than 30 U.S. states, Canada, and EU have also banned TikTok from being loaded onto state-owned devices. It's CCP spyware. Listen, all social media is spyware. All of it. And you guys do know that the data gathering that's done by like Facebook and shit gets sold to companies, some of which are under the CCP's control, right? Like, you guys do know that, you know, like people fearmonger over TikTok, but like the gigantic blocks of consumer data that gets sold after data harvesting aren't like magically barred from Chinese influence. Anyone can buy or access those. This is like just xenophobia. That's the problem. Like this is being motivated by fear of China, not by an opposition to data harvesting, because we're fine with data harvesting. You know, we just want it to be done by American companies. Do people pretend Patriot Act isn't a thing? Yeah, man, dude, fucking Snowden died to give us all this info. Based on public comments by defense officials, it seems the TikTok is extra egregious in their data sharing with China. So, okay, then I could be wrong on this, so I want to be educated. What is TikTok allowing for, data harvesting-wise, that the U.S. government can't already access from everything that we do with PRISM or with, like, the variety of spy programs and Patriot Act and all the shit they're capable of doing all the time? Because I'm under the impression, and you'll have to forgive me for being kind of, like, I don't know, defeatist about this, the U.S. government can already access literally everything that we do, whether you like it or not, regardless of the law. And they do. With no oversight, they are capable of harvesting and accumulating an inexhaustible supply of data on everyone all the time. And corporations aren't that far behind because all of our social media sites and the stuff that we got, blah, 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 it reports that data back, and then they get sold in big blocks to be used for like ad targeting or data harvesting or like a million things these corporations use them for. And they're basically up for open sale. You know, if you wanted to, you guys could probably find a way to buy them directly. Like there's probably a way for you to like construct an entity online where you could just legally buy huge swaths of consumer data. Vaush, Twitter does this? Yeah, Twitter does this. They all do this. To varying extents, but they do this. American companies aren't directly subject to government interest, though. You really think that? The government has literally gotten back doors on a bunch of social media sites and corporations, and we know for a fact that they, when they want to, which is often, can just take data from corporations. You know, it's not, and they can just directly take it if they want. Like they don't need to go through Facebook necessarily. Like a lot of the stuff, like end to end shit, they can just yoink themselves. And it's, you know, it's the American surveillance state. And the U.S. doesn't want China to have those same doors, but I think they already do because they would have access to the same corporate channels. What does TikTok do that they couldn't just already get? You know, that's what I want to know. TikTok harvests data on other apps and activity even if you turn it off. Plus, there's no insight into where it's being used. At least that's why I don't like it. Okay, so I want to know more about that. Like, what's the extent of the harm, you know? All right, here we go. Medium.com. Okay, so we're looking at a Medium article. But all right, we'll see. We'll see. TikTok is now way worse than you thought. Reminder to all parents, take your kid's phone away. Okay. Pink sauce. Sounds appetizing, right? Should I be trusting this Medium article? Is this the opening we're getting? Skip a bit forward. Okay. I don't know if I trust this at all. This just seems like xenophobia. This has led to China targeting our ideas, innovation, intellectual property, and our children on a scale that is unprecedented. And don't get it twisted, this article isn't about so the app has Chinese roots, therefore it must be suspicious. If any government owned a significant stake in a social media platform that was being used by over 1 billion people, it would be concerning. But China's different. They're a global superpower that's ruled by a dictator. If the fact that the Chinese government owns a stake in one of the most divisive, attention-grabbing, and addictive apps on the planet doesn't scare you, you're not even in the game. This is dumb. This is like boomer fear-mongering shit, okay? Guys, the government literally has the legal authority to backdoor like any info access that it wants to. American surveillance is more advanced than any other country at any point in human history. The Chinese government wishes it has as sophisticated and comprehensive of control over the information running through it. That the United States does. But like US good, China bad, so I need like a more technical explanation, because this is just like trying to convince parents to be afraid. But parents are stupid, so that's not the point, lol. America 100% spies on us, but it's not the same thing. Okay, but that's what I want to know. Like, why is it not the same thing? I'm opposed to all of it. What I'm saying is that the specific fear-mongering over TikTok has always come across to me as like some weird xenophobia shit, you know? Breakdown? Okay, here we go. TikTok's secret operation tracks you even if you don't use it. That's not good. If this sounds familiar, that's because it's happened before. Meta's near omnipresence wherever you are online enabled it to gather data on users, even those who don't have Facebook accounts, thanks in part to the Wait, the second sentence of this article is like, this bad thing TikTok does. You've probably heard of it before because Facebook's doing it. So that's my point, right? Keep reading. Okay, just... I'm not saying it's good. It is bad. It's just, you know... So even if you don't have a Facebook account, Facebook can still log your data and use it. That's great. In TikTok's case, the company embeds a tracker called a pixel. Hey, I know what those are. Pixel gathers user data from these websites to help companies target ads and measure how these work. You know, I thought they was disconnect. I think people are conditioned to think Facebook is everywhere and whatever, they're going to get my data. I don't think people connect that with TikTok yet. Among other data, TikTok collects the IP address, a unique number a page a user is on, what they're clicking, typing, and searching for. So far, it seems like they're just saying they're doing the same thing as Facebook. Yeah, okay, this is literally what Facebook does, and the article even says it. Okay. TikTok shares your data more than any other social media app, and it's unclear where it goes, study says. It goes to China. 2 of your social media apps could be collecting a lot more data. That's according to a recent study published by the Bulk Cards found that YouTube and TikTok track users' personal data more than any other social media apps. A study found that YouTube, which is owned by Google, mostly collects your personal data for its own purposes, like tracking your online search history or even your location to serve you relevant ads. But TikTok, which is owned by Chinese tech company ByteDance, mostly allows third-party trackers to collect your data, and from there it's hard to say what happens to it. With third-party trackers, it's essentially impossible to know who's tracking your data. So the physical locations. Study noted third-party trackers can track your activity on other sites even after you leave the app. YouTube and TikTok top the other apps with 14 network contacts apiece, significantly higher than the other sites' average of 6. "13 of the 14 network contacts in the popular social media app TikTok were from third parties. The third-party tracking still happened, even when users didn't opt into allowing tracking in each app's settings, according to the study." Okay, so This would indicate that it's a bit worse, I guess, because of the lack of transparency as to where the data is going, though I don't know how much of a significant meaning that really has, because Google can just like sell your data to third party anyway. Uh, that being said, um, I don't know. Doesn't it just seem like we should just ban these practices? I don't know if you could justify some specific targeting for TikTok, and then it's like, okay, but it's fine when YouTube and Facebook does it. I don't know any reason why TikTok would be on the chopping block specifically, if not for xenophobia. They're not doing anything like crazy distinct. No government will ever ban this. They're way past that. I agree that the odds of an actual ban on TikTok are like super unlikely. Can ban it in government devices. Yeah, they're banning it on government devices because they're afraid that China is secretly harvesting all your data or some shit. But can you explain to me why advertisers should have an easier time targeting ads to begin with? I'm against targeted advertising. I think it's bad. I think that it's like it's one of those like streamlined efficiency things that doesn't actually help anyone except the corporation, you know? If you're like watching YouTube, I don't actually think that there's any like broader social benefit to the like in monstrous leviathan of data gathering being disseminated across a billion channels you could never fathom or check, just so that when you get an advertisement that you skip past after the mandatory 5-second waiting point, the ad that you're getting is of something local and relevant to you as opposed to something sort of broadly disseminated. I'm against targeted advertising, and I'm against like algorithmic data, like or algorithmic social media feeds as well. If you're going to make a bubble, I think you have to make your own bubble. That's what I think. The key difference is TikTok disables opt-out tracking. Yeah, but like, let's be fair, that doesn't make a difference to the average person. Oh, there's no way to actually opt out of being tracked. You can do it like site by site, but there's no the systems for tracking you are monolithic and omnipresent. So I mean, maybe you can like lean it out a little bit, but it's not. It's not something we really have control over. Wouldn't you see this as a step to make more broad legislation, though? No, because it's targeting TikTok because of China. China. If they're not targeting TikTok because of the stuff they're doing, they're targeting it because of the stuff they're doing, and they're Chinese, you know? It doesn't... Yeah, it's not really the... Yeah. Doesn't everyone universally hate ads as a concept? Shouldn't we have a serious conversation about just banning all ads? Well, we can't ban all ads, probably. That's a pretty big part of, like, the way things work, but I don't think we need targeted advertisements. We didn't even have those until a couple decades ago. I mean, not really, at least. Do you not think the free internet that the tracked ads allow for is more important than the death of privacy? What do you mean free internet? How do tracked ads make the internet more free? They make it less free. The internet used to be so much cooler of a place than it is now. You guys have no fucking idea. You have no idea what wonder the internet used to have. How people would have like private websites they really liked, or there'd be a little bit of like wonder or mystery in exploring it, or all the cool things that people made. Everything is consolidated onto like 5 sites now. You know, the internet's only been made less free over time, and the margins have only gotten thinner despite more and more people using these services. They mean free price wise? Oh, you mean like server costs and everything? You can still pay for it with like regular advertising. Um that's how a lot of these sites make it happen, you know? Also, I don't mind having to pay to use a website. To be clear, if I feel like a website is using my money to like maintain server costs and the website is cool and I want to be there, then I think that's like a worthwhile thing. But like frankly, one of the big problems that we have right now with media is that everything is free streamed on access, and as a product of that, everything is bullshit, you know? Like the streaming model has not encouraged a massive range of diverse artistic creations or whatever. We were getting weirdo cartoons on Adult Swim way before live stream service model became like the main way of getting content across to people, but it does thin out the margins. And you were running into like an unironic, like Marxist tendency for the rate of profit to fall. Isn't it like a little bit weird that in spite of the fact that more people than ever are using YouTube, are using social media, that the margins are thinner and thinner? Why is more people using YouTube leading to fewer relative ad dollars per me? The cost per view, the amount that I get paid per view, it's only gone down for YouTubers over time. Why? Targeted ads have only gotten more targeted, and only more people have been using the site. Why is it going down? Likewise with live streaming services. Why are live streaming services constantly canceling shit and being incredibly skimpy with money, in spite of the fact that more people are using streaming services to watch their movies and TV shows than like ever before? Ad blockers? Not so much. Ad blockers are only used by about, like, think 30% of the population, and that amount has been consistent. Most people don't know what they are, don't know how to use them. Like, why is everything being made freer and more accessible, making everything worse, you know? I don't think there's anything wrong with paying to use a website. Especially for something like YouTube. Like YouTube, the server costs are enormous. Are we sure the two are inherently linked? Well, yeah. You complain about new paywalls, though? Yeah, that's because news sites aren't entertainment, they're journalism. I don't have a problem with paywalling sites. I have a problem with paywalling access to critical information that can be used for the dissemination of, like, meaningful shit, you know? It's not just, like, casual YouTube stuff or whatever. Yeah, also, yeah, a lot of YouTube traffic and stuff comes from mobile, and you can't really ad block on mobile. I mean, you can, but most people aren't going to do that. Kids won't pay for YouTube? No, but their parents will for them if it's considered like a really popular thing to get into, you know? The commercials aren't working as well anymore to get people to buy the products. Well, that's why I'm talking about the tendency for the rate of profit to fall. The margins are only getting thinner in spite of the increasing popularity of the product. Doesn't that seem a little bit strange? You would think in a conventional economic model that a system, a website, a service getting more popular would actually lead to it being more profitable. Like, that's normally how it works with most things. Here, it's not how that works, which, you know, kind of makes you wonder, like, where the problem is. And the problem ultimately is that the way these sites stay afloat, despite their enormous server costs, is they pay for themselves with ad buys and also by selling enormous amounts of surreptitiously harvested private data that they sell it off to corporations so they can do their targeted advertisements. Google makes a lot of money like that, like a lot of money. Paid YouTube sounds terrible, not going to lie. I have YouTube Premium. I mean, I make more money from YouTube than I spend on it, so I don't feel too bad about that. It's a fine thing. Surreptitiously, not subterraneously. Thank you, Pudding Pie. I don't think you can ask people's Zach hugs back. I think it just has to be a no. Most people, privacy is too ephemeral and abstract for most people to have an understanding of what they're losing, like, it's like with cookies. Like, the website asks you now, do you want to have cookies saved or not? Well, most people don't know what they are, for one. And for two, like, most people don't care because the idea of, like, a tiny bit of invisible data being harvested and then sold on some big block so that someone somewhere can craft a better ad, like, it's too abstract for the average person to know. It doesn't affect their lives directly. So to make a decision on it, they would have to be educated on a bunch of, like, broad issues outside of their personal scope of experience, which is just too much to ask the average person. Have you paid for Twitter Blue yet? No, but I have to. In just a couple of days, they're going to delete my account because I have text SMS two-factor, and they are deleting Twitter accounts that are not Twitter Blue that have the two-factor, so I have to get that. Sorry, there's not much I can do about that. I'm not going to compromise my account security on my 230K follow tweet. Just use Google Authenticator. No, I don't use that app bullshit. Sorry, no, it's my phone or nothing. All 2FA routes back to my phone. I'm not using other stuff. I like Twitter Blue so far. I see a lot less ads. Yeah, also, dude, I don't mind ads when I'm scrolling through the feed. Seeing ads while scrolling through tweet replies is bullshit. That's bullshit, okay? I just SMS is shitty 2FA. I am not using one of these stupid cybersecurity Google app authenticator locks, okay? I'm not doing that, okay? It's an app. Yeah, I just said that. Also, getting Twitter Blue would boost my priority in the feed. Whatever. Speaking of Twitter, it seems like Elon hasn't been in the news lately. Well, he recently did like a Tesla, like he did some kind of presentation for the shareholders, right? Some like big show. This is a very autistic moment. Do you guys understand that the average person has no idea what like a Google authentication app is for a 2FA? You realize that nobody knows or cares, right? Like, you're gonna call me autistic because I like just getting a text if somebody logs in, and you're like, wow, you fucking retard. You, I bet you don't even know what the taste of pussy is. Unlike me, the Chad, who does know, and you can tell because I actually use 17 different authenticator apps to coordinate my... Lots of companies use auth apps. They also use text 2FA. But you do know what an authenticator app is. Oh my god! You people are like Linux users. Jesus Christ! You're refusing to adapt to new tech. You're being a boomer. This is why nobody likes tech people, man. I'm already more tech literate than 99% of the population, but invariably, you know, yeah, you know, it's always something. Good lord, this isn't a tech thing. Absolutely insufferable. You literally just scan a QR code and it generates a... Stop! QR codes are demonic. Stop! I don't care. I keep my passwords scrawled on a sticky note. I don't give a shit about your... bro, you're not even familiar with this technology that's 8 months old? It's the highest level of security. You. I don't give a shit, okay? Jesus Christ. Oh my god. You're being an actual piece of shit right now? Why are you actually mad? Okay. You're getting a timeout. Okay, if you're actually mad. If you're actually angry, why can't I at you? It won't let me at them. They have like a symbol instead of a letter? Now I forget what their name was. Oh, yeah, Saved by the Bell. I bet Vaush doesn't use a password manager. I just said I have a sticky note. Well, several sticky notes. Like, the problem is that, like, I've heard both ends of this. I've heard people say that password managers are incredible, and other people are like, password managers are just ways for them to farm your passwords so you can get hacked. I don't trust any of you people. This is the problem with keeping up with tech stuff, okay? You are hyper obsessed with one side of a coin, and not knowing that on the other side of the coin, there's another equally retarded retard pushing in the opposite direction, okay? The ultimate Giga Chad computer user, all right, simply writes everything down on a sticky note or keeps it in their head, and they do what normal people do. If they ever forget their password, they just cry and lose access to that account forever, okay? This is what normal people do, all right? Meanwhile, you're like, oh, no, of the 78 possible variants of two-factor authentication, I have isolated the probabilities of hacking occurring in 59 of them to be greater than 72% over a given period of time. You fool, you can't. And it's like, man, you're also insufferable, and you're dumb, and I hate you, and I hate you, and you're dumb. And I hate you. But how do you really feel? You guys remember when everyone was saying for a while that you should use like NordVPN or some other kind of VPN, yeah. Of VPNs. And then they didn't do anything, and then after like 2 years of them being popular, people were like, okay, but they actually don't do anything. I knew that all along. I knew that all along, actually, you know?